Hey everybody, it's Robin, and today I want to share with you this layout I made last night and today. A friend of mine asked me to make it for her as a gift. So she told me, when she called me, she said they like wine and they have lots of antiques, and you name the kind of antiques, they have it, from baskets to jewelry to furniture. And they do lots of hunting stuff, but the basement has like a wine theme going on. So here it is in the frame. I just love it. I hope she does. She stopped by and I kind of went over a few things with her, but she hasn't seen it finished yet. So, and tonight's the party, so I hope she likes it. But anyway, here it is in the frame, and I'll show it again at the end in the frame. But I want to take it out so we can take a better look. Okay, I'm going to start with the background paper. The background paper is a cork, wine cork paper, and I bought this a little while back at Michael's. And then here's just a few of the papers that are in the collection. And I bought this on clearance, so I don't think it's available anymore. And for this piece that I rolled down, the back of the paper is white. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to reach here once in a while. I use this stamp set from Tim Holtz. And it's called the Urban Grunge. And I use this piece here to stamp the letters, the words, whatever. And I used walnut stain to do that. And then I went over it with vintage photo. And then around all the edges of everything, that's what I used. And I know I'm going to repeat myself. But once I took Tim's distresser around the edges, and I ripped it here and there just to give it more of an aged look. I used this Tombow watercolor pen, and I ran around all the edges to make sure everything, the white, was all covered up. And then used the walnut stain, and then went over everything so it wasn't so bright with the vintage photo too. This piece here is a piece from another k&co collection, and I don't know where I put that book, so if I find it, I'll put it on the screen if I think about it. And I put this on the back of this is craft paper, so I just had to put enough to cover up that spot. This here is from the k&co's Life Journey. And it is a old ceiling tin-like piece. And what I did is I decided to where I wanted the name cut out. And I used Lovely Floral from Cricut. I like the font on here. And I'm surprised that usually the Cricut lights don't have a multiple, you either get your shapes or nothing else at all, but then they also threw in a font, and I love that. And I cut that out at 1.5 inches. And then I adhered it to the back of the paper, which is this one up here too. And then I went over all of it with vintage photo, distressed the edges, and then ripped it here and there and took out some little spots. And again, I used my Tombow watercolor pen to make sure all the white was colored in. And then I also took it and I just kind of went along, and as it since it's like a watercolor pen, it bleeds a little bit too. So I did that and quick added walnut stain to it each time just to give it that dark rustic look. And then over here I used the Rusty Hinge Distress ink, and then went over that with the vintage photo just to so it's not super rusty. And then to enhance the background, so once I went over that with the Distress ink, the background was a little harder to see. So what I did was I took my sponge and I dipped the edge into the walnut stain and just went around and just followed the lines and to enhance it. And that's how you highlight, you know. What direction is the sun coming from that you choose? I didn't worry about this on this one. I just kind of made sure, I just did it as it was pleasing to me. But to highlight something, if your sun is coming from that direction, everything on this side should be darker than this side. So if the light's coming in from this direction, everything over here needs to be darker, the undersides. So that's all I did with this to get the effect I wanted. These pieces here I had in my collection. This here piece is just like, I don't know if it was a brooch or what they used it for, but I bought it at an estate sale a long time ago. And the people that they're giving this to will have this forever. Megan said she'll just absolutely love it. She did stop by in between taping and loves it. So that's the only reason why I went ahead and parted with that piece, because I know they'll appreciate it. And then this piece here, the gold surround, a friend got for me at the quarter store in town. And then that black cameo I got from eBay a while back. And then there's, again, one of those high wheel bicycles that I thought just kind of fit in perfect there. Okay, the wine bottle. I'm going to give you a tutorial on how I made that this weekend. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details on how I did it, but I used Summer in Paris cartridge and cut out the wine bottles glass, and I cut out the wine glass, and this is cut at 7 inches. Label here is also the same paper as up here, the letters, and I brought up some wines, names of wines in that on the internet, and I know that's not a whole name of a wine, but I just wanted to find something French, so I found the Chateau. I think it's French. I hope so. And then what I did was I stamped this stamp. Oops, sorry. Here. And I just used this part. I didn't use the outside there. And I cut it out and made a mask. And stamped the 2 Eiffel Towers. And once I got those stamped and just right, then I stamped this here in the middle of them. And the stamp set I used for the Eiffel Tower was this My Mind's Eye one. And I think it's from the Pretty collection. Yes, Madison Avenue Pretty stamp. And I embossed that with black embossing powder, obviously, and then just distress that with the walnut stain in the middle and the vintage photo in the middle and the walnut stain on the outside. When I make a flower arrangement on my layouts, I don't have any rhyme or reason to it, and it's really hard for me to describe what I've done. So I just take the flowers and just keep laying them out until I like how it looks. So, and this is what I came up with on this one. And with the wires and stuff, I didn't cut them all off. I kind of swirled them around a end of a paintbrush. And I like how it looks. And then once I get the arrangement laid out the way I like it, I just start tucking leaves in underneath in different spots. And just till, you know, like here I used 2, you know, here I put 1 down here. This one has 2. It's hard to see on the video, but you can see it in person, and I use 2 of the tiny ones. And then I always put some, excuse me, skeleton leaves in with my page layouts, because it just kind of frames it out and balances it. And then I always add butterflies. And this is the stamp I use, excuse me, from Martha Stewart. And I always cut out 2 for each butterfly. That way I can glue them together and kind of take the wings and do that. So it has more dimension. Always put one in the flower arrangement, and then just a couple flying away. I do everything's in 3s, 5s, and 7s. So there's 5 of these redder ones, there's 3 pink, 5 of these light green, and 5 of the olive. And I'll have all the item numbers of everything I have and I can give on my blog. Okay, here it is one more time in the frame. So I love it. I hope they do. I think they will. I think these are very unique pieces that I make. I love them. So, but if you guys have any questions, give me a holler. And whoops, sorry, I'm kind of holding my tripod too. But the wine bottle I will be remaking this weekend. So, but if you have any other questions, just holler, and have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.